you know.
Well, Trump just blew past. He just the one thing that we'll have to say about him is he said, I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and my people wouldn't give a shit. He actually is an adjudicated rapist on Fifth Avenue. A court of competent jurisdiction, a judge said by any common definition of the word rape, you raped that woman.
This is the dressing room one?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, that may have happened, but I mean...
But a jury in a court said it did.
That fucking means nothing to me, because I know what they know, which is nothing. They know two people said two different things about something that happened in the 90s, and of which there's no witnesses or tape.
Well, you know
so
what?
I can't, look, I hate Donald Trump as much as anybody, but I can't say for sure I just know that. Just because 9 people said they think that, I can't.
First of all,
but yes,
they had more evidence. In other words,
did?
Yes. So she told me
what was
this
the
happened.
Evidence? What was the evidence?
Other people that she told contemporaneous with it.
Well,
which
you know,
whatever. A jury said that, that he
you know
did.
What? You know more about this case than apparently I do, and maybe if I knew everything, I would be completely.
I know that a jury.
Yeah.
I tend to have more faith in most people. In juries, I think most of them really try to weigh what's there. And I do know that a jury, but now I get too technical here, but by a preponderance of the evidence.
Right.
It's a little bit of a different standard in a criminal case. It's beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, I'm admitting, I didn't know that there was like evidence. I just thought it was he said, she said, so.
All right, folks, buckle up, because things got intense when Bill Maher sat down with James Carville. And honestly, it didn't take long before the sparks flew. Carville jumped right in, saying that while not every Trump supporter holds extreme views, a lot of folks with extreme views seem pretty comfortable under Trump's umbrella. And you better believe that stirred the pot. Carville didn't hold back. He laid into the GOP, saying the party's transformed from classic business-first conservatism into a wild arena of populist right-wing showmanship. He pointed to Ron DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy, saying they're locked in a contest to see who can go further to appeal to the loudest, most fired-up parts of the base. But Maher wasn't about to give the far left a free pass either. He widened the lens and took aim at progressives, blasting them for what he sees as an obsession with ideological purity, cancel culture, and groupthink that, let's be real, can start to mirror the very movements they claim to oppose. Here's the kicker. Both Maher and Carville agreed on one harsh reality. American politics is spiraling. It's not just Democrats versus Republicans anymore. Some conservatives, they said, are treating liberals like a bigger enemy than actual foreign adversaries. Yeah, that's serious. This wasn't your average polite chat. It was a raw, unfiltered deep dive into how loyalty to party and ideology is crushing common sense, reason, and any hope for productive conversation. Trust me, you do not want to miss this one. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's break it all down together.
There is a genius to his madness, and the thing I always say about Trump, you have to remember, he's stupid and crazy, and they're two completely different things. And this is like the crazy part works for him because he's without a mechanism to edit or to pull back. So, you know, as my friend Jimmy always says, insanity photographs. You can't take your eyes off him. Obviously, whenever they put him on TV, the ratings go through the roof. And that's why insane people are charismatic. You can't look away. So when he does all this, I mean, not just sexual stuff, but certainly the sexual stuff, it's like, I'm gonna own, no one else in the world would even think of this as a strategy, and he has no strategy. It's just what he feels. He's all id. But to own that, to own being this kind of guy, and half the country likes it. Or at least it's not a deal breaker, because they feel like it's honest.
At least he's honest. He says what he thinks.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. The thing really like is he tells you it's okay if you hate other people. He validates what that guy says. I like because he says what I think.
Well, he plays on the fact that his people think that your people hate them and look down on them and see them as deplorables. I mean, I think they think...
You know, there's some truth to that.
Oh, there's a lot of truth to it.
And I mean, as good a Democrat
Yes,
as
you
the
are.
next person. But you hear this shit, so I don't know if we ever talked about this before.
Their latest sit-down wasn't just two guys venting about politics. It was a brutal reality check on just how far tribalism has taken over. Both of them made it clear: civil debate, meaningful disagreement, practically extinct. These days, your political stance isn't just about how you vote, it's your social status. One misstep and boom, you're sidelined, unfollowed, or worse. Maher, who's built his career calling out the extremes on both sides, didn't hold back. He said it flat out. Politics isn't about changing minds anymore, it's about performance. It's all posturing and signaling, like some awkward contest to prove who's the most loyal to their side. On the left, it's about strict ideological alignment. On the right, it's a show of raw patriotism. Different styles, same intensity. And Carville? He didn't sugarcoat anything either. He said Americans now care more about passing party loyalty tests than passing laws that actually help people. And let's be honest, our media isn't helping. With outlets built to provoke instead of inform, people aren't learning, they're just getting louder. News is no longer about clarity, it's about keeping you fired up, locked into your political bubble, while the other side becomes the enemy. And what's the cost? Just the complete breakdown of compromise. These days, trying to meet in the middle doesn't make you balanced, it makes you look weak. Disagreeing respectfully has become a lost art, and political rivals aren't just wrong anymore, they're treated like threats. That's the warning Maher and Carville sent loud and clear. If we keep racing down this path, there might be no turning back. America could be stuck in a permanent state of division, where winning the fight matters more than fixing the issues. But here's the twist. They didn't just point fingers. They called on us. If we want to protect democracy, we've got to break out of these echo chambers. It's time to get uncomfortable. Time to start really listening, even to the people we don't agree with. Because if we don't, the divide won't just stay, it'll deepen. This wasn't just another debate. It was a blinking red warning sign. For anyone who cares about the future, it's time to tune in.
Confesses.
And confesses to them. And like, I got rid of the FBI director because there was a lot of pressure on me. Like, yes, that's your interior monologue. There's a lot of pressure on me because the FBI's looking into me for good reason. You don't say, so I invited the Russians in. I mean, like, it's so beyond it. This is not...
The Russian ambassador showing him top secret shit. He was showing the guy at Bedminster, look at these...
But I mean, he does one a day, or he did when he was president, like something that only a nut would do. It's amazing to me that we lived through those 4 years, because when I look back on it, and of course the Trump people say, oh, you know, you have Trump derangement syndrome, and yeah, he blew up the world, right, Bill? I don't think, you know, you're right, he didn't blow up the world. I still think he could, okay? Is that completely crazy that I think a crazy person could blow up the world? No.
The shit that he did is like stunning.
I'm saying, no.
The documents case, if you stop and you think about it, like one time.
I could read 1,000 tweets that are just insane that just went by. I remember there was one that said he was mad at China and he said, I hereby, like he's the king, I hereby order all American companies to immediately, you know, work on a plan to change your, he was like ordering them to get out of China. Like, I hereby order. And again, that's just insane that nobody else would even think to do that. But he doesn't think. That's his insanity and his attraction to people.
Let me ask you a question. Okay, history eventually finds out. They find this asshole Pius XII. They found the letter where they told him they were gassing.
The Pope during World War II?
Yeah. All right, we know from history he's been outed, I guess is what you would say.
Right.
Do you think when all the history is known, would you guess that the Russians have compromised on Trump, or that's just liberal factors?
No, I have always said that the Russian hoax theory is a hoax. Plainly, there was something going on between Russia and Trump. It was not perhaps, first of all, I always thought Mueller blew it.
This guy's a battle-tested veteran of American politics. He knows the game better than almost anyone still in it. And he's not here to sugarcoat a thing. He laid it out plain and simple. In politics, the enemies you make are just as crucial as the allies you keep. That's not being jaded. That's just how power actually works in DC. We're in an age where political loyalty feels like a moral purity contest. But Carville, he slices right through that noise. Politics isn't about making people feel warm and fuzzy. It's about winning. And to win, you need to know exactly who's on your team and who's gunning for you. And here's where it gets real spicy. Carville issued a major warning to Democrats. Do not underestimate Donald Trump. Yes, there's controversy, courtrooms, nonstop chaos. But don't let that fool you. Trump's still a powerhouse with voters. He's got this almost uncanny ability to connect with people who feel sidelined by the system. Carville's shouting it loud, don't make the same mistake twice. Democrats laughed him off before, and look how that turned out. Keep dismissing him like a sideshow, and you might just wake up to another political earthquake. And let's be honest, Carville's calling out something deeper in the Democratic strategy. Too many folks on the left are focused on being morally correct instead of being tactically sharp. They treat every policy win and every demographic shift like it's checkmate. Meanwhile, Trump, he turns every attack, every headline, every critic into fuel for his base. Is magic. It's not about policy details or logical arguments. It's about channeling frustration. He turns his critics, the media, political rivals, even people from his own side, into proof that he's the outsider fighting for the people. That's why, no matter how chaotic things get, his supporters don't budge. Carville's message couldn't be clearer. If you want to win, you better be ready for a fight. Politics is a battlefield, not a moral seminar. Trump's not invincible, but if Democrats keep treating him like yesterday's news, they're walking straight into another loss. In today's hyper-polarized world, knowing your political opponents isn't drama, it's survival. Carville isn't just giving commentary, he's waving a big red warning flag. Ignore it, and it could cost you everything. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If you're into bold political breakdowns like this, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to ring that bell so you're the first to know when the next one drops. Your support keeps this growing. Catch you next time. It's only